Morning. This is Thursday, October 6th, 2022. We are in the last quarter of this year, and it's good to be able to say that because, so many people did not make it, have not made it to this point. And so you wake up in the morning, and no matter what's going on in your life, how you feel, just say thank you because you made it to this day in this year, October 6th, 2022. We are literally days away. I think it's like 42 days away from the midterm elections. And I am hoping that everybody has registered and everybody is trying to get other people to register. Um, it is so critically important. I know I sound like a broken record, but it is critically important that we register and get other people to do it and to vote for people that are going to protect the rights of all of us. And it's in the scriptures, it says the rights or the lives of the least of these. And the truth of the matter is that most people in the world belong to that category. It's like 1% of the wealth. Like 99% of the wealth is owned by 1% of the population in the world, and everybody else is underneath that. And so all of us are members of that group called the least of these. And our lives can be okay one day and then shattered the next. And so we need to have people in office and on the courts, please, who are going to protect our interests and take care of us. There are people who want to get rid of Social Security. Then what happens to the old people? People who want to get rid of Medicare and Medicaid. They want all of that to be privately funded, which means that we're going to get screwed more than we're already screwed. There are people who don't want to have public education anymore. They want that to be privately funded. Of course, there is the assault on the rights of women. Um, I read a story the other day about a young girl, and I think it's on a sports team in some state, and a girl who said that her coaches are asking that she give them, the proof of when her last menstrual period was and when the end date was. It's just a violation of privacy. That's like living in one of the countries that we have railed about or against for years, like with the Taliban and the radical Islamic terrorists that people always talk about. So now we've got these radical domestic terrorists here who are trying to take our rights away and have us live like they live in those countries. And I don't know about you, but I'm not down for that. And I know that if somebody asked me, I don't, have to worry about this anymore. But if somebody had asked me when I was a kid in high school, when was your period? I would have gotten kicked out of school because I would have told them to go to hell. I just would have done it. It's none of your business. And so this intrusion into the rights of women, that's going to be a big thing for everybody, even those who support the hard right regime and all of these other things, Medicare, Medicaid, public education, all of this stuff is going to affect the least of these, the masses of the people. So you need to think about that. And if you think, well, I voted, nothing ever happened, well, something's getting ready to happen with these people. Trust and believe. Roe v. Wade, the overturn of Roe v. Wade was just the beginning. They have been planning this for decades, and they are ready to pounce on a system that they think has been too lenient with the least of these. So I'm hoping that you will take heed. I hope that you will think about it. I hope that you will understand that nobody is safe. And I hope that you will register. The deadline to register, at least here in Ohio, is October 11th. I don't know if it's different in your states. And early voting starts here in Ohio on October 12th. And if you can vote by mail, if you feel safer doing that, we hope you will do that. But it is so, so, so important. And if you are registered and you can find other people to register, please do that. Please help us to help ourselves. Please help us to help ourselves. I think this is a functioning of Kujichagali, is self-determination. We determine who we're going to be by what we do and what we don't do. So that's my diatribe for this morning. So welcome to Thursday morning, a reading from Rest for the Justice Seeking Soul. That is this book that first of all, let me just say I'm thankful for all of the people who have purchased it already. Some of you have gotten hard copies, some of you have gotten it on Kindle, and I am so grateful, and I hope that you will continue to do that. The holidays are coming up, and I hope that you will get copies of that book and send to your friends and to your family. And you also know that I write a meditation. I'm continuing to write the meditations. I've never stopped. They're always on Tuesday. That book was going to be called Tuesday Meditations, and we thought that it would be maybe in competition with another book that has the word Tuesday in it. So we changed the title But I write these meditations every single Tuesday, no matter where I am, and send them to a group of people that are on a list. And so this week, every once in a while, I want to take what I wrote for the week and share it. And this week, I want to share with you the meditation that I wrote this week, and it is called "Understanding the Toxicity of Resentment." Many years ago, I was having a conversation with a woman with whom I had gone to high school. She was a successful attorney living in Pennsylvania and had a good life, except for her long term boyfriend. He was physically and emotionally abusive and had been for years. But in this phone call, I could hear something different in her voice. She had had enough. She said she had finally gotten him to understand that they could not be a couple anymore. She asked him to leave her house where he had been living with her for some time. And as he left, giving her the keys, he said, "You can't get rid of me that easily. If I can't have you, nobody can." When she shared that with me, I shivered. That is one of the most dangerous things a partner can say to someone that he or she supposedly loves. It is a death threat. It is a death threat. Take heed to that and trust and believe that it is a death threat. My friend understood that, but said she wasn't worried because he wasn't like that. He was not a bad person. Not long after, I got another call, this one from one of her friends in Pennsylvania. The ex boyfriend, a fireman, had gone to her house, broken in, beaten her unconscious, and then set her house on fire. Her body, charred beyond recognition, was found in the rubble. He had made sure his declaration held. If he couldn't have her, nobody else would either. His life was also ruined. He was convicted of first degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole, but he didn't care, or at least he did not appear to at the time. He had allowed his resentment of her leaving him, to run and ruin his life. The behavior of white nationalists feels like the country is going through domestic abuse, with a group of people resentful that many non whites, non males, non Protestants, non heterosexuals have gotten too much in this political system called democracy. They don't want democracy. Their resentment is as toxic as it has ever been, and it is leading them to adopt, approve of, and support candidates and policies that ostensibly will hurt those whom they resent, but will ultimately result in their suffering as well. Their resentment is causing them to champion and to participate in political domestic abuse. So, what causes resentment? What caused the resentment of my friend's boyfriend? There isn't just one cause, but therapists say that, quote, most cases involve an underlying sense of having been mistreated or wronged by someone else, end quote. Resentment shows up as anger or an inability to stop thinking about a situation that has caused an individual's pain, feelings of regret, fear of conflict and rejection in tense relationships. Resentment also shows up or is manifested by a sense of bitterness of having been wronged by someone in whom you put your trust and love. So, if that is the case, why are the privileged resentful? By whom do they think they've been wronged? And what was the ultimate wrong that made their resentment so toxic that they would rather see America go down in flames than for all people in this country to be treated with dignity and respect and equity and be able to enjoy the rights that the Constitution guarantees all Americans? It's a complex question and can't be fully answered in this short meditation. But the bottom line is that their resentment comes from their understanding of who and what America is. In spite of the most beautiful and powerful rhetoric exclaiming the value of all people, many white Americans feel like the country lost its way and in the process has abandoned its first love, white people. This country, they believe, was made by white people and for white people. From as early as the 19th century, the white people in power have resented people, white and non white, who have come to this country looking for a new and a better life, or who were brought to this country against their own will, like the Africans, in order to build this country. And so they are intent. They are intent. You hear me? They are intent on stopping what they feel is and has been a violation of, quote, the American way. Resentment blinds people. It results in them making rash and harmful and deadly decisions. It makes them hurt the people they love as well as the people they profess to hate. And it always results in something or someone dying. The grudge holding people in power, desperate to hold on to that power and their privilege, will do anything to maintain their position. It is up to us. to see what is going on, to see it. You hear what I'm saying? To see it, to see what is going on and understand it so that we can navigate through it. But this might also be a time for us to take a moment to take stock of the things about which we are personally resentful. Even as we push through the toxic curtain of political resentment, we may very well have to simultaneously identify and work on getting rid of our own personal resentments. Whether personal, political, resentment is a deadly emotion. We cannot allow it to fester inside of us, even as we work to dig up the resentment that is killing America. Amen and amen. So I hope that meditation resonates with you, resonates with me. We don't think about things and always talk about things that are wrong. Or, I joke about it. People say certain things are sin, but sins are anything that, separate you from God. And when we have that resentment, it's a block. We can't let God in. We can't get ourselves out. We can't do the good that we were called here to do. And it eats away at us. It's a spiritual, emotional cancer. We can't let that happen. So I hope that if you are dealing with a resentment, you will identify it and begin to work on it, commit to work on it, to get it out, and work together, all of us collectively, to get this cancer called white supremacy out of our system, our political system, so that this can truly be a country that offers liberty and justice for all people. With that said, thank you so much for being with me today. Come back next Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. Tell your friends about this morning meditation. Ask them to tune in. They don't even have to listen to it if they don't want to, but turn it on so that our numbers need to go up in terms of people listening to it. And understand this. I thank you, all of you who joined us today. Take good care and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.